Being a wife, but let me tell you something. Being a wife is making sure you have the soap powder. The wife is making sure you might throw those clothes in the washing machine. Being a wife is not coming to pick up your drawers after you. That is
Amen. Who said you had to pick up the drawers? Y'all want to go. This is my point here with that. We always act like that's such a big thing. Like, especially for the women. Wait a minute. Especially for the women that got kids. Y'all should be cleaning the house anyway. Y'all should be cooking anyway. So you cook.
Great catch. I'm a great wife. I'm a great this. And it's like that hasn't been validated.
All these single girls are yours too. I don't know.
The one thing that I'm seeing is that when you're dealing with a grown-ass man,
there it is.
He has a vision and a purpose for his life.
Thanks.
And what he wants in the future. And what I see is that a lot of these modern women don't want to fall into and play their part in that purpose and in that vision because they have their own purpose and their own vision. Mm-hmm. Not sure responsibility to motivate a man.
Right.
A man should have his own motivation, his own direction. Your job is to inspire. It's a complete difference. I think a lot of ladies get a man.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Candid Convos. I'm your host, Quay Price. We got Chloe on deck. Say what's up to the people, Chloe.
Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday it is. Let's say shout out to all of y'all joining us tonight. We appreciate you. Shout out to YouTube in the building, Facebook in the building. You know, on YouTube, we got to drop y'all the link. Hold on, YouTube.
I'm working on it right now. I apologize, my YouTube people.
Yeah, we got to drop y'all the panel link. But shout out to y'all holding us down. Shout out to all our subscribers on YouTube. Let's say as we continue to grow the platform and grow the message. We appreciate you guys as always holding us down. Also, drop a comment. Let us know where you represent from tonight, so we know that you are here. But man, we back on another Wednesday for another show, another conversation. We got an interesting one tonight. Yeah, I've seen a couple folks drop me the Umar, the Umar, gifts or gifs, or however you pronounce that. So let's say we got an interesting conversation tonight. But yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, it's a real show. We will have real conversations, and we go there. Yeah, we run away from no topics, and tonight is no exception. All right, so let me do this real quick while I'm thinking about it. All right, so here's the link to join us on the panel. You can drop this in your Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge. If you're coming into an Apple device, you have to use Safari. Once again, drop this in your browser. You do have the ability to cut the camera off if you choose. We always encourage you to keep the camera on for better show, better engagement. Plus, also saves you a little bit of typing in the process. In addition, we have this link in all of the chat feeds, so you can catch it at the Candid Convos page on YouTube or Facebook, or you can shoot me a message at Quay Price on Facebook, and I'll get it to you that way. So any way you need us to get you the link, we'll get you the link. So Leah's up here on the screen for a little bit as we get into the conversation. See, I don't know if Vince is on tonight. We'll see. I'm not sure. All right. Well, I don't know, Chloe. You want to go on and get right to it? All right. So we'll drop this link down for a minute. Let us know if y'all need the link. Do me a favor while I'm thinking about it as well. Hit that like button for us. Hit that like button. Likes are free. Hit that like button for us, please. Once that it helps with the getting the content out to our people, helps us get seen, and a host of other things. So do me a favor, freebie, hit that like button for us. Hit that like button for us. All right. Got a couple people checking in early in the game. Donovan in the building. He said, "What up, though, fam? What's going on with you, Donovan? Appreciate you, brother, holding us down." See Shantae in the building. She said, "Hey, y'all, what's going on, Shantae? Appreciate you, sis. Appreciate you joining us tonight." See, we got Eva Wright in the building. She said, "Hey, the Wrights are in his house." Okay. All right, go ahead, Eva Wright. Go ahead and lay it down. Shout out to the Wrights in the building. Shout out to the Wrights. Yeah, let it be known. Let it be known. Let's see what we got. Is that JR? JR, what's going on, brother?
Mic check. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. How you doing? You all right?
I'm all good. Great evening to everybody. Whatever time it is over there, it's 2 a.m. Yeah, well, 2:45. So, yeah, whatever time is over there. Good evening, good morning, afternoon.
Yeah, we good evening. We about 8:42 p.m. over here, Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, like I said, we definitely on a different time zone.
Yeah, man. I already had my sleep, man. Ready for the show, you know.
Oh,
Okay, there it is. We about to get into it as well. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and do this. So, topic for tonight. Are foreign women better? Ooh-wee. Bruh. Okay, run that back. Topic for tonight. Are foreign women better? I see y'all ready to go there tonight. Let's see who we got checking in. Vince say, "Hey, fam, just leaving the gym makeup day. I will try to get on. No doubt, man. Do your thing. You know you got to get your workout on, but yeah, we'll be here." I said, "You know how to get on, man. You know how to get to us." Let's see, Kenyatta. She said, "Happy Wednesday." What's going on, Kenyatta? We appreciate you, sis, checking in with us tonight. We about to get into this conversation. All right. So we're going to go and do this and get on into this. Are foreign women better? So we got a couple videos. I'm going to see how I'm going to work this. So this video number 1 right here. Are foreign women better?
Get this straight. You have been telling men for years that you don't want them, that you don't need them, that they don't meet your standards, that they don't treat you right, that you can pay for your own hair, you can pay for your own nails, you can afford your own home, you can afford your own car. Men are good for nothing. You're strong, you're independent. But then you get mad when these men go to another country to actually find a woman that has the qualities that they are looking for in a wife. Make it make sense. I also want to talk about why this mindset that so many Western women have is actually extremely problematic. Because not only are you putting down the men who are going overseas with pure intentions, you're also putting down the women from these other countries solely off of the fact that they were not brought, because you're calling them uneducated, you're calling them poor, you're calling them weak, you're calling them vulnerable. You're creating a superiority complex where you are at the top and women from all these other countries are at the bottom. Now let me tell you something. If you were really superior, the men would not be leaving and you would not be single.
Ooh.
So let me
Shots fired.
Okay. All right. Topic for tonight. Are foreign women better? So let me get
Hey, what you think about that?
What's up?
Tay, talking about us.
Hold on. Wait. Don't be calling Tay in it. Tay, don't.
Tay.
Oh, y'all not about to do it. Hey, she says she calling y'all out. Hey, let me get some more of these comments. See Nicole threw the hand up. What's this? What that hand mean, Nicole? What's that hand mean? Let's see. Vince, I love form. Mercedes, BMW, Porsche. That ain't what she talking about, Vince. That is not what she talking about. Shout out to Krista Reed. She said, "Good evening, everyone. What's going on, Reed? Appreciate you joining us tonight, holding us down." See, Shantae said, "Girl, Shantae, you let me know if you need that link. I see this about to get a little hot. Let's see. Eva Wright said, "Clutching my pearls, cause woo, yeah." She went there, Eva Wright. She went there. Let's see. Oh, she said just hey, hello. Okay, no doubt. Appreciate you, IT, checking in tonight. Let's see. Shantae said, let's see. She said, qualities, all I heard was obedience. Okay. See, Donovan said, better. That is to be determined on a case-by-case study. Is it, Donovan? We're gonna have this conversation. Is it case-by-case, Donovan? Is it case-by-case? Drop me a comment. Is it case-by-case? Let's see. Shout out to Rodney in the building. He said, what up, though? What's going on, Rodney? Appreciate you, brother, holding us down. Up from Lansing. My man. Appreciate you, man. All right. So, topic for the night. Are foreign women better? Okay, so I know y'all all just saw the video, the young lady. I'm not sure if she's Chinese, Japanese. I'm not sure.
Asian.
Asian, right. But shout out to her. So she just got on and, dropped the bomb. Talked about, what I'm saying, the ladies, essentially the ladies not cooperating, being too independent, telling these men they don't need them. What are they good for? They can pay for their own stuff. What do they really need these men for? Then when these men go overseas or go over to these other countries to find women with more, I guess you can say, more wifely traits or ladies that they consider more wifeable, then they'll get mad, have an issue with it. And then in the same breath will then turn around and essentially kind of discredit or downplay these foreign women because they were not raised with Western ideals. So yeah, young lady, she just went on and went there. Hold on. Let me put Tay on up top up here. I see what this about to be. What's going on, Tay?
Hey.
What's good? What's good?
How y'all doing?
We good. How you doing over there?
I'm okay.
All right, good. So I know Chloe tagged you in. So what you I don't know. I guess we're gonna go ahead and let you kick it on off. What you see in that video? Was she making sense? Was she capping? What you see?
I think it's a cultural thing.
Okay.
I think that women from countries like, okay. So okay.
Take
So
your
it's two
time.
sides. I feel like it's two sides. No, it's not really two sides. Okay, so it's a cultural thing. Russians, maybe, I'm just saying maybe they are raised to be male ordered brides. Therefore, their obedience level, their domestic level might be a little different because maybe they aren't raised to be entrepreneurs.
Okay.
But that's the same thing with our culture too, as far as Jamaicans, Africans. They are also raised, to be family. It's just us Americans. We just the ones that ain't got it right. But I think that they are family orientated too, where where their wife might not work and they bear several children. I honestly just think it's a cultural thing. And maybe in America, because of our financial state, or because of the racial or the racism, maybe Black women in America are taught to get a degree and maybe not pushed to have those children, because maybe they understand that it is hard to be Black in America, whether you're a woman or a man. So they try to push you so you can live a more comfortable life in in a, you know, in a place that we might struggle to, you know what I mean? Because like what is it, Africa, they don't have credit. So if somebody in Africa got a Benz, they paid for that. Where is that country? Where is it? Is Africa? Is it that continent? It's somewhere they don't have a credit
You might be
system.
right. Yeah. I don't know. You might be right though. I don't know.
So yeah. And when they build houses, they build their houses and they're paid for. I don't think they have a thing where we, even if we pay for our houses, we'll forever be in debt because we have taxes. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I honestly just think it's a cultural thing.
Okay. I feel that. You want to say something, Claude? I saw you come off.
I can see definitely there's a cultural element, right? I think she's right. Like women are taught based off their value systems, and I think that in other countries, other cultures just have different value systems. I'll be honest. Here in America, we value money. That's what we value. Like there it's sad, but that's literally what we value here. Like every year, companies are incentivized to make more and more and more and more. As people, we're incentivized to increase our salaries to make more and more and more. It's literally never enough. Women who might choose to stay at home because they really want that experience and they want to teach their children themselves, even they're not always even in a financial situation where they actually can, right? Here in this country. Whereas in other countries, it's not that women don't work. I'm not saying that, but I don't think that there's not the incentive, right? It's not viewed as valuable here for women to stay at home anymore, and for women to be the ones teaching their children. And for women, it's not valued the same because we value money. Then a lot of times, unfortunately, a woman's worth is tied to societal. I'm speaking in terms of society. Her worth is valued based off of what she can contribute financially. So when that's the case, right, women now are feeling like, well, if there's nothing tangible like money that we can actually use for transactions or in some way, then what am I actually providing, right? Putting women in a mindset of provider when there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you choose. But that's not really, there shouldn't be societal pressure for women to be in that position. But here in America, that's very much so. Now, I don't want to take any accountability from the women, though, who are doing exactly what she said, walking around talking about they don't need a man or men are good for nothing or those types of things, because unfortunately, we hear a lot of that in this space. And she's right. Those women, if you really are superior, a woman who has it together to that extent would not need to degrade or disrespect a man because she has been able to make a life for herself. And if you are superior in that way, you mean to tell me that you have never been in circles, never been in environments where a man saw the value in you? Or is it once again women overvaluing themselves because of this financial value system that we have, and because women have been able to earn money and earn wages here that are in competition with men, is that now a reason for a woman to say, well, I'm here, so in society's eyes I have this level of value? So relationship currency and currency it's two different things. And I think that's something that sometimes women struggle to understand. And maybe some of these other women have grasped that better. Are they better as people? We don't know. Like Donovan said, that's a case by case basis. But the mindset, is the overall mindset better? And if we're talking about relationship wise, and we're talking about, the qualities that a man might be looking for in a wife, then there is some truth there.
So let me ask this. I'm gonna come to you, JR, because I know you want to say something. Let me ask this. So why is that piece not considered? So you just said, you know, in relation to the qualities that a man is looking for in a wife. So why is that piece not considered? So I know you're saying that over here in the West, you know, we value based on this money, right? So a woman feels like she's this because she's generating this level of finance or whatever to bring to a situation. But once again, we've had that conversation before, and money is not a part of the requirements or what men are looking for when they look for a wife. So why does she not consider what her value looks like to a man, especially if she's looking to be in a relationship or be in a marriage? Why does she not consider what her value looks like to a man versus what society is saying?
When's the last time has a woman asked genuinely, just like a friend, a cousin, a sister, anybody, asked genuinely, what do I need for a man to see me, to see the value in me as a wife? Are women prioritizing that? That's the difference. When you're programmed, like Shantae said, like when you're programmed to live a certain way, when you're told you grow up, you know, make sure you get a good education, be able to take care of yourself, you know, get a good job. When you're told that, like literally, it's conditioning. So if nobody comes along to ever challenge that or say, okay, yeah, great job, that's great, but these other things, you have to prioritize these other things as well. Where are they getting that from? And not, once again, this is not an excuse, okay? Because I believe now that we've had these conversations, I believe now that the information is circulating. So I think now if you don't want it, if you're not trying to improve, if you're not trying to educate yourselves on how to improve, if you're not trying to have the right conversations with the type of men that you actually want to be with, then you don't really want it. You don't really want it because it's too much information. There's too many conversations being had, and there's too many men that you can have access to that have or are the thing that you want, that you could be asking these questions to.
Right.
You're not interested in the answers because you don't really want it. I mean, I got you.
That makes sense. Let me come down to JR. JR, do you want to say something, man?
Yeah, you know what, boss? This is actually like, you know, the perfect conversation, man, because I think in the last 48 hours on Twitter, you know, Black Twitter, Black Space, it's been kind of going off really in terms of, you know, women making money, etc., not giving up your job and whatnot, right? So basically, are foreign women better? No, they're not. Women are chameleons, right? Because we hear the words, certain things such as, if you marry a woman from foreign, never bring her to the US or, you know, to the land of the promise or whatever it is, right? You keep her over there. Why is that? There's a certain reason to it. So, yeah, I don't think that foreign women are better, because I think it's just a lady that just obviously came. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Is it Tay? Yeah. Tay came in and mentioned that, you know, obviously Caribbeans, Africans, or whatnot. Obviously, I'm of African descent. And let me tell you this, right? The Africans in England and the Africans back in Congo, where I'm from, they're exactly the same. There's no difference. The only difference is it's that the government over here allow women to do certain things, and the government over there don't really allow women to do certain things. But if a man understands and he wants to work with his women, there's not wrong with your woman working, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But they take that and they run with it. Hence why, you know, the whole foreign women aren't educated, they're stupid, they're this, they're that, and American women, or, you know, women from the Western world are better than foreign women. But like I said, in reality, the whole mindset is warped. They're all chameleons. It comes down to whether they want to accept or agree. It depends on how they feel in that moment in time.
Okay. Okay, so you
I
said
want
the
to
lady.
say
Go
something
ahead,
else.
Tay. Go ahead, respond. Go ahead, Tay.
I think that American women and foreign women are very similar in ways, but I think American women get a little bit more flack. So essentially, America is known as the land of the free. So if you're a dad and you're in, like I said, Russia, somewhere like that, because Chinese people, they don't really be thinking like that. Well, they might, because they might have some mail order brides too, but Russia just comes to mind. But a Russian dad has a daughter, and raising this daughter. Essentially, she wants, hey, I want you to be a mail order bride so you can go to America to live a certain type of life. And living a certain type of life takes what? Money. So they are also money motivated, just like American women are. They are still money motivated because Arabic, I think they got to give gold before they get married. Africans, I think it might be a cow over there in the continent that they have to give, but something of some type of prosperity still has to be shown. But American women, we get so much flack when we say that we want a guy that is financially stable. But you have other cultures in other countries and other continents that this is what they go by. I want my daughter to go to America and marry somebody rich so she can go over there and she can be comfortable and live the life that she wants to live. Because sometimes foreign women just come over here and they don't make a life for themselves. They come over here and they are housewives. They don't come over here and learn the game and open up businesses and work on their credit. Some just come and play the role. So I think that they are alike in a lot of ways, and I think that we just get looked at a certain type of way. Because baby, if you can't produce that cow, you can't marry my daughter.
Okay,
You
well,
know
hold
what I
on,
mean?
Tay. Hold on, Tay. Wait.
It's
Hold on.
certain cultures have certain things that they have to do to
So,
come on, JR, come on and help me out.
no, I got you. I got you. I know what you mean. So you talking? I think the technical word is dowry. I think that is the technical word, but
Okay.
that's not
And
always.
or
Hold on.
bride price or
Right,
bride
Yeah,
price.
so
bride
so
price.
that's going to
That's
say
what it
that's going
calls
to
it.
say foreign women are not better. We're actually a lot alike. We are just, and how many foreign women, so and then they're also taught, not saying they're taught not to have an opinion, but they're taught not to voice their opinion because when they come from places that have dictatorships, or like he said, where women can't do certain things, it's not a lot of options they have. So then when they come to America and they have options, yeah, they think that they're living a better life. I'm not saying that they're not, you know what I mean? But I think that
More
when
freedom.
people say that foreign women are better, that's why all I thought was obedience, because I'm sure that they be thinking in the back of their mind, my husband's a prick, but they don't want to say
Mm-hmm.
it. We're Americans, we gonna say it, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Because they're taught
Yep.
to be quiet and
Yep.
being submissive and not saying nothing and just letting your husband run over you because you from a different country and you got to be quiet. That's totally two different things.
I just
But
think
take.
my problem with that though is
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
like I agree with a lot of what you said, but here's a few things I disagree with, right? I think the idea of us feeling like they come over here and they just want to be housewives, and I think it's that's what she was talking about. To say they come over here and they just want to be housewives and they don't learn the game and they don't want to open up a business and they don't do that. This is what I mean by in America, there's a mindset. What's wrong with them wanting to come over here and be a housewife? What's wrong with them wanting to come over here and raise their own kids, not have daycare raise them, and
Everything, Miss Chloe.
work inside their home instead of working outside their home, right? It's not it's a choice. And it's a choice between what the type of life that you want, and what you want to provide for your legacy, and what that legacy looks like, right? Some people in their legacy, they're prioritizing the wealth of it, right? The financial wealth of it. Where others are looking at it like, yeah, I'm not saying I want to be broke and poor, but at the same time, there's a whole other layer of generational wealth. It's not money. And I'm like, I want to have a balance. I don't want there to be a situation where my kids have everything they need financially, but they're void. So I think that that's the mindset that the young lady in the video was talking about. There's not a less than. There's not a less than, right? You just said yourself, Tay, right? Like that it's similar to us in a lot of ways, right? So then in that case, there's not a less than. It's just that maybe the way they were raised in their culture, remember we said it's a cultural thing, the way they were raised, they don't value the same things we value. It's slightly different. Of course they need money. We all need money to live, right? So a bride price, a dowry, we all still need money to live. But it's different to say I need this money as a resource to live and, maybe leave us something for my kids, and money controls me and money rules me and money sets my value. That's a different mindset. And maybe what men are saying is that mindset right there, that one is the one that's stopping me from being able to connect with Western women because of that particular mindset. That more and more and more. It is by definition hypergamy. It is. And I hate to use a red pill word, but it is. And maybe some men are saying, that's not what I want, right? When I think of a wife. And we as women, we have to really take a look at ourselves and say, is that what I'm doing? Because these women are any less uneducated because they choose differently. They don't need to be put up on any kind of game because maybe what they want is just different, right? And it's okay. If you want to be an entrepreneur and own business, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But it's also nothing wrong with them wanting to just be a housewife. Now, speaking of submission equaling obedience, I would really like to, I don't know, I feel like we're going to be having that conversation forever because submission equaling obedience is true, but unfortunately, the way we say obedience, but it sounds like slavery.
But Miss Chloe.
Like we saying obedience, but the way we say it sounds like slavery, which submission is not slavery. So maybe it's the way we're looking at things, which is why as Western women we sometimes feel like we get picked on, because maybe it's the way we look at things, and it's our mindset. And then when somebody questions that mindset, we feel like we're being attacked. But is there really a need for us to look at it and go, well, I've been living here my whole life. Is there something slightly off about the way I think?
I don't disagree with the whole, because you're foreign, whatever your American dream is, to come here, live your American dream. I was speaking in relation to being financially stable, and that's what I was just saying as far as American women and foreign women and the whole financial part. But I was just saying how we get flack, so whatever they want to do is fine. Whatever they want to do when they come here. Some women come here just to get an education so they can go back to their country and be an asset, so I and I'm not saying, and that's what I don't think submission is slavery. I think obedience, how they are, like when you are a mail order bride and I paid for you, I think that the men, in my opinion, I think the men might be entitled where they might, not saying they might, but they are maybe verbally abusing this woman and go wash my dishes and go do this and the other, because you already had to go find a mail order bride because you couldn't find nobody to love you for you. Back in the day, them little TV shows, those were the kind of men that were getting mail order brides. It wasn't even like the love where, maybe Arabic people or Arabic people, they are like paired up. But even then, they might be paired up with a guy that they grew up with or a family that they're familiar with. A mail order bride is paying for a stranger to come and love you.
Wait a minute. Say, well, why? Okay, hold on. Let me ask this real quick. Then I'm gonna come to you, JR. Why does it have to go? Why does it have to go to the negative?
Because even if they feel, this is my opinion. If they're in a
Tay, I got you.
relationship, and even if they feel some type of ill will in their relationship, I just don't think that they're allowed to say anything. But I could be wrong, though. I could
Tay,
be
I got
wrong.
you.
I just don't think that they're allowed to say anything.
Tay, I
No,
got
but I'm
you.
saying they can say something. I guess this is my thing right here. This is my thing right here, Tay. My thing is when we see an example, right? When we see an example of a young lady who has not, right now I know we're going based off video. So this young lady is not westernized, right? So she comes from a different culture, different geographical location in the world, right? So she has a different mindset. I'm just trying to understand, why is it that when we hear examples of these different mindsets, then it has to come with an extreme? So because the young lady decides that she wants to be cooperative or she wants to be submissive to the man, it's got to be because he over there beating on her. Like, why is that how it has to go? Like, why can't it just be? I'm trying to understand what's happening right here, because
I didn't say
Yeah, Tay, I
beating
got
on her.
you.
I
Tay,
just said he might be a little
Tay,
controlling.
Tay, I got you. Tay, I got you. Tay, I got you. I got you. I got
Okay.
you. I got
Boy,
you.
ain't no
I got
way,
you.
boy.
I got you. So
Boy, ain't no
basically,
way, boy.
Tay, she's not
go
wrong.
ahead, JR,
Yeah.
because I'm ready to
So
get started. I see Vince
yeah,
just hopped on here too. It's about to go down. Go ahead,
yeah.
JR.
So this is I think I was trying to say in last week's show, right, to where we are today. So basically, the ladies of the today are looking at their mothers, whether it be here in America or back in foreign, wherever it is now, yeah. But I'll use myself as an example, right? So everything that Tay has highlighted, yeah. Like I said, in the last 48 hours, it's been a big discussion on Black Twitter, yeah, with Black Africans and whatnot, who you would normally think are going to be obedient, right? Because that's what we know them to be. But if we go back and look at the history, right, what Tay has said, she isn't wrong in the men taking advantage of women. Now, is it the majority? Is it the minority? I don't know, right? We can figure that out between us, right? But so the experiences that their mothers have lived, they've obviously ended up passing it on to their younger daughters, cousins, whatever it is, right? To the point where now, why is that discussion of the whole 50-50 coming up? If we go back to was it Dwayne Wade and what's her name? Gabby
Real
Union,
Union.
right?
Yeah.
He said something about XYZ, he makes this or whatever it is now. She felt some type of way, right? Because of whatever he said. And you got to understand, right? What she felt is what the women of the yesterday went through, of not being able to voice their opinion, not being able to, have some sort of free will. And the women of today, they just want to experience their free will. So they've been granted that in the Western world. But guess what? For every good comes a bad with it, right? So if they want certain things, which is freedom, yeah, we're going to grant you that freedom, have it. But then guess what? You then can't turn around and still expect men to be men. That's what it's coming back down to. The whole obedience thing, right? Because Quay, 2-3 shows ago, right? We mentioned Miss Chloe ain't got a degree, right? But hey, she brings some sort of value to you, your family, and the society. With what degree? But like I said, when you wanted to get with Miss Chloe, a boss, or for her to be your wife. Does that make
Right.
sense? You wanted her to be
Yeah.
your wife to the point where, even though she's your wife, is she still able to do both? Be your wife and go be that boss and have her own free will and improve her life as an individual. She's still able to do it. But guess what, Quay? Her mindset is what is keeping both of you together, which then we're going to use the word what? Allow, right? Because she's doing what you want her. So because she's doing what you want her to do for you, you're going to allow her to go and do that what she wants to do, but you don't have to say to her, I'm going to allow you, because you're happy with what she's doing on the first part. So by default, off you go, babe, go do what you got to do. That's it.
No, I understand. So I understand what you're saying. I just question if it is free will. Yep. And what I mean by that is, I'm gonna go back to a point that Tay made. So Tay made a point about a woman being with a man who's financially stable, right? So that's kind of like that first requirement, right? But in today's marketplace, that's not what we see. Yeah, but it's like we don't see these young ladies just looking for a man that's financially stable. They putting numbers on it now.
Yeah.
So it's been classified as 100,000. It's been classified as, I just saw a young lady on a video earlier talking about, she don't even want to entertain the guy unless he's making $250,000. And it's just like, that's not financially stable. Like, see, that's something else. See, that's not you being concerned about somebody being financially stable. A person can be financially stable at $80,000 a year. A person can be financially stable at $45,000 a year, depending on how they manage their money, right? Yeah, if they carrying no debt and that money is pure money outside of, minor expenses, they can be financially stable. But see, that's not what we're doing out here today. Now we setting limits. So now we saying, hey, I don't want to be with this guy unless he's making $150,000. But this guy's living in Idaho. That's not even cost of living in Idaho. So it's like, but you still want him to be making $150,000. So see, now we outside of financially stable. Yep. And now we're outside of just trying to cover these foundational things as we get into a relationship or get into these marriages. So that's what I'm talking about. And that's why I said, I don't know if it's just, I'm starting to feel like we have surpassed freedom at this point.
See, great. Today,
at the end of the day, let me say this real quick, Jared. At the end of the day, going back to the video of the young lady, right? She's talking about the fact that women in these other countries essentially have been raised different, or they've been raised with different ideals in comparison to women in the West, right? And I think over here, we're seeing a amplified version of what she's talking about. Yeah, she's talking about these guys coming to these foreign countries and sourcing out these foreign women because they possess these character traits. Yep, they're more cooperative when it comes to a man, or they're more cooperative when it comes to a marriage and a relationship. They're more, nurturing forward when it comes to a relationship. They're more, I don't even want to use the word soft, but I'll use the word soft. They're softer when it comes to, these relationships and interactions with men and so forth. And like I said, we definitely got to be honest. We see a difference. Right, we see a difference, and I think Chloe and Tay made some good points earlier. A lot of this stuff is based around money over here in the West. So at least from my opinion, what I see is a lot of those character traits that the young lady is really kind of insinuating in her video. A lot of that stuff gets put on the back burner for the focus of money. And I think that's the difference. Yep, that's the driver over here in the West is money. It's money, it's degrees, it's you go get the degree, you're making the money, then you make the money, you rack up the debt, then you come back and say, nah, this money's not enough. So now you're looking for another job that's gonna pay you more money because that debt you carrying is now sucking up all the money that you just got off that degree, and it just keeps going. And see, that mindset bypasses relationship and man. Yep, at that point, I'm not worried about my soft skills. I'm not worried about my nurturing skills. I'm not worried about, taking care of family. I got to get this money. So then what in turn happens is when the young lady goes and says, okay, now I'm ready for a man, that situation still has not removed itself. So now when the man come along, now she got to set the terms for the man. So now she got to say, okay, I need a man. If he going to come into my life, because that's usually how it goes. And ladies, correct me if I'm wrong. If he going to come into my life, he got to be making 150. He got to be making 200,000 because she looking over here at the bank. She looking at the bank account. And she like, I got these student loans over here. I got this MasterCard I done blew up. I got these 3 trips I done put on this card. So now I need this man coming in. If he gonna be in my life, I need this man making 150. He got to be making more than me because somebody got to pay for this. And see, that's the mentality. It's not about I'm gonna be a nurturing woman so I can get the right man. I'm gonna be cooperative. It ain't none of that even comes up. It always goes back to this money. Yep, and it's because we prioritize this money over the things that are important. The cooperation, the soft skills, the taking care of the home, the nurturing the kids outside of the daycare. Like we don't prioritize that stuff. Yeah, but I think for me, at least from what I'm hearing, that's what the young lady is really talking about in that video. And I got more, but I'm gonna hold right there. I saw Vince. I saw you come off, man. You want to say something real quick, man?
Yeah, I want to piggyback off of what Tay said.
Go ahead.
You know, when I first started traveling to other countries and seeing the amount of poverty that people go through in the Jamaicas, the Bahamas, Mexico, they don't have the safety net that we have here in America. I remember when I first traveled after the pandemic, I went to Mexico. And I said, you know, well, did you guys get the PPE? They was like, PPE? You know, what's PPE?
Right.
You know, they don't have Social Security. They don't have a welfare system. They're living in shacks. I know probably half of us on this have seen that. You know, when you fly into Jamaica and then you take that bus to your resort and you see people living in something that look like an empty garage, and you like, is this 2024 or is this 1624?
Right.
So these women understand that they need their men. They need husbands. It's not an option. But American women, especially Black women, they don't really need a husband. Follow me here. They can have kids, not have no husband. Buy houses, get credit, have sex. They don't need no husband. Build what they think is generational wealth until they'll see what real generational wealth is. And I think that we have also, we have this thing about this abuse, all this abuse that happened when women wasn't working. And I'm thinking about, has abuse really gone down? Has it gone down? I mean, you know, it's still men beating on women. It's still men taking advantage of women. And they not married. They not waiting on his check. They got their own houses, their own money, their own kids. So we need to stop this whole where women couldn't do nothing back in. My grandmother and them couldn't do nothing. But how about your cousin who getting her ass whooped every day by somebody who ain't even got no damn job? So that's come off of that. But the problem is we don't need men. And when I was younger, I remember my aunt had, and she's passed, so I could talk about people because they dead. So I didn't hurt nobody's feelings. She decided to adopt 3 kids. Single woman, had already raised her kids and adopted 3 more kids. And she thought, you know, I raised these other 2 girls and they was good, but she didn't understand that the reason why we turned out is because we had our grandparents. And then she figured, oh, I'm just such a great. Then she got them foster kids and they took her ass through with no husband, no male figure. She was trying to find this one and find this program, and that program did nothing work. So that's the problem. And if women can do it, y'all would. If y'all can go over to Jamaica and get a Jamaican doctor and bring him back here, y'all would. The problem is the money is in America. All y'all getting over in Jamaica is some D. And the dudes that think y'all fluffy. And y'all can't do it because we looking for something totally different. Y'all, you know, y'all can go over there and get love. He'll love y'all to death, but he a fisherman. And y'all like, I can't do nothing with no fisherman. I don't care how much he love me. I ain't bringing his ass back to America and I have to take care of him. A man can go over there and find somebody who cleaning up hotels and she's cooperative, and she'll be a good wife, and that's all he needs. He don't need, and she pretty, and that's all he needs, because that's what men want, and y'all want money. Let's just keep it 100. Men want pretty and obedient, and y'all want money. Just keep it, and if y'all could do it, you would, but you can't. That's the problem. If y'all can go over there and get y'all a young Jamaican doctor, a Mexican doctor, a lawyer, y'all will be over there too in them little bitty 2 pieces. Talk about girls trip, trying to find y'all a husband.
Oh man. Let me ask a question. I'm gonna come to you, Joe. Give me 1 second. Let me ask a quick question. I just want to put this question out, then I'm gonna come to Joe. Question out to the ladies. Do y'all get upset when y'all find out a brother has left the US and went to some other country and found him a lady? Take quick with it. Oh, hold that thought. Hold that thought, Quay. Say you on mute right now? I think you're on mute right now. I can't hear you, Tay. My bad. You might have to go out and come back in. It's like I can't hear you anymore. Yeah, go out and come back in. All right. Yeah, so I'm just curious. Any ladies? I know Tay was about to answer that real quick, but any ladies in the comments, do y'all get upset when these brothers leave the US and go over to these other countries and find them a lady and end up happy? Do y'all get upset by that, or does that bother y'all? I'm just curious. Oh, I see Nicole ready to say something too. Nicole, you saying something? I can't hear none of y'all. I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Yeah, I can hear you, JR. I can hear Chloe. Joe, say something for me real fast, Joe. You on mute.
Mic check.
Yeah, I can hear you as well. So I just can't hear Tay and Nicole. I don't know what's going on. Why don't you drop off, Nicole? Come back in for me. Yeah, drop off, come back in. Maybe it's need to reset. I can't hear neither one of y'all. All right, let me let Joe. I know you wanted to say something, Joe. Go ahead, man. Then we'll come back to that question. Go ahead, Joe. Drop off, Nicole, because I still can't hear you. Yeah, drop off, come back in. Go ahead, Joe.
I only saw like the first video that you played.
Yeah, I only did one so far. Go ahead.
We only did one. Okay. So are foreign women better? And do American women look? I think all women look for some sort of financial security to some extent.
Right.
It's especially if they want to nest, which is an instinct within all women. If they're normal women, have healthy hormones, that instinct to nest, it kicks in, and it requires, if they intend on having a family with that man has to have a certain amount of money to take care of that woman and those kids within that particular country or society that they live in. I think in America is excess, so it's above and beyond the nesting instinct, and it's greed, it's luxury lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. It's not so much about the family, the kids, making sure there's food on the table, there's a roof over their head. It's, I want what I see on social media. I want what I see Beyonce have, Jay-Z and their couples had. Couples goals is what they call it. So it's just a society that it's been morphed into that situation in America and most other first world countries. As far as the women only want money, from my experience, I rarely get women who care. I rarely get asked, what do you do for a living? I think it's more so about, on the man side, it's when you look at a lot of guys, at least when I see them, they're not, they don't like to work out. They don't like to take care of their body, their skin. They're not exactly in the best shape. They dress like shit. So they're not, it's kind of like women will settle for money. It's like a substitute. It's like, okay, well, you don't have the things that I'm attracted to physically in a man. So let me if you can compensate with money, a 6-figure salary, I'll accept that. And it's more prominent in a Western mindset. Whereas that same man who doesn't dress very well, who maybe doesn't have a great physique, he's a little bit of a potbelly, he can go over to a Colombia or Brazil, or even a Germany, which is another first world country, because those women in those countries have a mindset of, I love men. And they will accept, I guess, what American women would call lower standards. But the men here, they don't care as long as they get what they get and they're happy with it. So they'll go the extra mile, pay the extra expense so they can go to these other countries so they can get the love and affection that is lacking here. And then one more thing back to the women's side, it's kind of like a flip flop. So you got the man issue, you got the female issue. With the female issue, like I said, it's wanting more than what's necessary to survive, going above and beyond, wanting the status, the lifestyle. And it's a mindset. It's a culture of, it's like we don't like men. It almost feels like that. Even as a guy myself who attracts a certain amount of women, the initial attraction is great, but then once you get to know the woman, it's like the culture kind of overtakes them. It's like a virus. And so they don't know how to switch off being dominant, being aggressive, being a leader, and they fight me for that position. So it's also like they're so used to being in control of their whatever circumstances that they're in, that when they come across a man like myself who won't accept anything less than a submissive and feminine woman, then it becomes contentious. At first, it's great. The attraction is there, everything is going great, but it's once you get to know the woman, once you get to know her habits, her character, her morals, it comes to the light, it comes to the surface, beyond the makeup, the hair, the weave, the style, everything, the flashiness of a woman. So it's kind of like you have the men who aren't doing their part in a certain way, but I would say the onus is more so on the women, in which they just adopted the culture around them that says we want a man with a high six-figure salary. We have these super high standards, and these are sometimes women who are sixes and sevens who want nines and tens for men. So they don't even qualify for the man that they want. So they X out the man that they qualify for. It's just backwards. So that's why a lot of men just say, fuck all that. I'm just gonna go to Brazil, go to Colombia, Venezuela, and be done with it. And they're happier for it. And I say, more power to them.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I was before you said that, so you made some good points, Joe. Before you said that, I was just putting the question out there. Are the ladies upset, or do they get bothered when these dudes go off to these other countries and find their situation and it works out? Let me come back to Tay. So Tay, I lost your audio for a minute. Come off mute. Let me see if I can hear you this time.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. All right. So you said y'all don't
saying,
worry about it.
But I don't be hurt about that. Because I just I want everybody to find, I want everybody to find love. I'm not, interracial, dating and all of that. It don't bother me. It don't bother me at all.
So let me ask you this, Tay. So the reason I'm asking that question is essentially what I hear right now is, let's say you tell me if you hear the same thing. So I hear right now that there's more women than men. That's what I hear. So they say there's more black women than black men available.
Yep, and then black women are survivalists. So yeah, you gotta make 100,000 that live check to check, ain't got no money management or nothing. Jesus, them people, them tier 1 people in them plants. Oh yeah, they living check to check. They making all that money living check to check. Okay.
Oh, we know.
I don't care nothing about no 100,000. I don't care nothing about no 6-figure. I don't care nothing about that, because once you get with it, that's because people want stuff that they ain't never had before. So then when you want it so bad, I want to be with a guy that make 100,000. I want to be with a guy. Then you get with him and he ain't doing nothing for you. Then now what? You done played the guy that made 75 that was doing for you. You done played him for him. And now you out here looking goofy.
That's real. That's real. That's real.
I hate it here.
You ain't lying about that. You ain't lying. You ain't lying about that right there. You looking goofy out here. Let me get a couple of these comments, and then I'm coming to you, Chloe. Let's see. Shout out to J.U. Griffin in the building. He said most men are sought after for their provision, their protection, their procreation, and their problem solving. We are not normally the better looking sex. No, I said we ain't never the attractive ones, man. That's for the ladies, man. That's for the ladies. It's for the ladies. Uh-oh, Vince shaking his head. Go ahead, Vince.
Talk for yourself. I'm sexiest.
Wait, what?
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Man, get Vince out of here.
I'm so glad Vincent grew up, because Lord.
All right, shout out to this comment from Kenyatta. She said, I think more women are upset when black men is with white women more so than with foreign women. Uh-oh.
They
All right,
shouldn't be.
Kenyatta.
They shouldn't be.
She's sparking the fire. She's sparking the fire. But there's some validity to that, Kenyatta, but I ain't about to go there. Let's see. Eva Wright said, I cannot. I think she was talking to Vince on that one. All right. So let me, I know I just got called out. So I know I got a couple videos I got to touch. So I got a couple. So hold on. I got a couple I got to touch. Here go video number 2. So this is kind of laying on top of video number 1 to a certain extent.
I feel like this is gonna get me canceled, but fuck it. The white women and all the other races, white, Asian, Latina, whoever, who date black men, they be taking y'all on dates. They be taking y'all out. They be whining and dining y'all. You be getting presents and stuff. Or black men, you be doing that? Because it has been over 2 years since I've been asked on a date and actually taken on the date. Typically, guys will just come in my DM and be like, I would love to take you out. And I'll be like, me? And I get so excited. And then, like, literally, they ghost me. I'm like, wait, what? So I feel like at least once a month, I make a video like this where I'm like, guys, why do these guys keep flaking on me? I've been making videos like this since literally 2 years ago. It's sad, though, because it's actually been 2 years since I've been on a date with another black man who is not a convict and doesn't have 10 kids. So I'm just wondering, like, y'all be taking the other races out, or is that something that you just don't do? Or do you go on dates like sometimes, or not at all? Or do you find women who don't care for dates either? Is that the compatibility thing? Like, real talk, I'm just wondering. And then the women, are you cool with that? Like, y'all just be coming to the crib, rolling up? Or is that like what they be saying to us? I'm just trying to figure out where the disconnect is.
Okay. So that's the young lady in the video right there. So let me come on to the ladies with this question. Ladies. Are y'all having problems getting dates? I'm just curious. Somebody keep it a buck. Are y'all having problems getting dates? Oh, go ahead, IT. You tell me, I still can't hear you? Why I can't hear you? I don't know where you're sending your audio, IT. I still can't hear you.
You got headphones, earbuds, or something?
Check your audio source, so where your audio is going. Make sure it's going to the right device. Cause I can't hear you through your microphone. However, that's coming.
Can't hear me.
Now
you hear me?
Yes.
All right, we hear you. All right, go ahead.
I'm gonna figure out why that's confusing. Anyway, do I have issues?
Are y'all having problems getting these dates? So this lady is saying she trying to figure out if the brothers.
Yes, but I didn't African know. So that's a whole nother.
Oh my God, girl! I can't do them. I can't do them. They so aggressive. I be like, wait, I'm scared.
African men, no. But I have a whole separate issue.
Oh man.
I would try to leave my opinion out of it, but to answer your question.
Okay.
This is where we voice our opinion at. You are not allowed to opt out of that.
Oh, let her know.
You gotta say something.
So is it a problem, IT? Let's say the young lady is saying, and I said I got a response for the young lady in the video, but she's saying that she's not getting asked out, cat sliding her DMs. You know, she giving a little response, but nothing ever transpires. So she trying to figure out is the brothers, is they taking out the other ladies? You know, since we talking about these foreign women, is they taking out the other ladies out here?
And again, in the climate in which I live, there is a certain demographic of women that are the majority, and what I do see the black men taking them out. But I do have questions because I feel when it comes to certain mannerisms and certain connotations, I'm not understanding why this particular demographic. But again, that's just a me thing.
Well, what's the demographic, sis? They ain't on here.
Mostly Spanish.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Let me get this comment. We're gonna get back into this. Let's see. J.U. Griffin said, do women ever think about why they attract certain types of men that approach them? They tend to attract you tend to attract what you project.
This was gonna be my comment. Shout out to J.U. holding us down. in the YouTube space. Listen, this was going to be my comment,
Yeah,
right?
JU, that's my guy. Go ahead, Chloe.
Because why did you say that it's been 2 years since you've gone out with a man that didn't have 10 kids or was a convict? Like, man, where are you meeting these guys? What pool are you searching in? I always wonder that. It's not as simple as pick better, okay? It's not as simple as that. It's more of where are you meeting these men? Once again, what Jay you said, what are you projecting? What are you putting out? What are they seeing you? A man that is a convict, honestly, shouldn't feel comfortable approaching you. And where are you at that these are the only type of men that you're attracting? Like, where are you? Where are you, sis? Like, I always wonder why women don't ever consider their part in this. Like, why do you never consider that you're putting out an energy or a vibe that is making you seem accessible to the type of man that no one really wants to deal with? So I'm just curious, why are you attracting the rejects? And then you want to get on here and you want to make it about everybody else. You want to make it about what black men not taking black women out because you're meeting convicts and baby daddies and serial baby daddies. You want to make it about everybody else. You're not asking yourself why you getting approached. Why you're not asking yourself why men keep hopping in your DMs saying, "Hey, I want to take you on a date," but then they don't actually take you. You haven't asked yourself, sis. Why? You said social media. What are you doing on your social media that they're seeing?
That's real.
Like Joe said, the initial meeting between him and some of these other women always goes well. And then after he gets to know them and they get to know him, there's sometimes contention. It's like they're meeting you through social media. Like maybe they see something. You haven't asked yourself what they seeing that's making them ghost you?
Right.
I mean, why are we never... Go ahead, Jared.
It starts with the word, so with the letter A, ends with the letter Y. The next two words after the A is CC. Can you finish that for me, please, Miss Chloe?
Man, we know that's accountability, man. We already know what that is, man.
Yeah, I think that's what Miss Chloe was trying to allude to. I think so. I thought I'd just help her, find that word for the ladies, because that's what it basically is. You know what I mean? Where, like, I always say this, right? A woman can never hold a man accountable. Society will do it, whether he likes it or not. That's just it. But somehow, yes, they just want to avoid every consequence, that comes their way. It's got to be somebody else's fault. It's that victim mindset, that victim mentality in a Western world. They love to run with it. So, yeah.
So So you bring up a good point, JR. So let me I wanna ask that question. So let me come down here to IT. So IT, we about to have a little conversation real quick. So just keeping it a buck. So I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm just asking the question. I know you. Yeah. I know you are here in this dating world. Keep it a buck with me. Does that thought ever cross? Does that thought ever cross your mind? So like when these situations is going on, because I said I know you said that these guys, you see some challenges out here with these guys and the dating and all of that. Does that thought ever cross your mind as a woman? Is it me? Or is it something that maybe I'm not doing or I'm not moving right? Like, does that thought cross your mind? Like, keep it a buck with me.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm definitely in that reflection phase. I don't know. It's just because I'm getting a little older, and it's like, all right, let me really think about it. So yeah, it definitely comes across. But I also think for me, like I'm really conservative, and I think just at initial glance, just men don't really spot that out. Like that's not the type of person they go after. Like if I was in a group of ladies, I'm still the conservative one. And I think at initial contact, that's just not what men go for it. Like you have to have some conversations with me to kind of, you know.
Okay.
But that's me, and that's what I think. Knowing
I got you.
myself.
Yeah, no, I got you. No, I was just curious. That's because I know that guys, have that conversation or ask that question to themselves, right? So if they out here in this market and stuff ain't hitting, he gonna have that thought. He gonna be like, all right, maybe I'm, you know what I'm saying, I'm not coming correct somewhere. You know what I'm saying? My gear might not be right. My cut not doing it. You know, this ain't the car. Like he gonna have that thought. You know, maybe my conversation not on point. Like he's gonna have that thought that maybe it's him. And like I said, just going back to the video, I always find that interesting when these young ladies will make these videos talking about essentially these guys are coming into their DMs or hitting them up, hollering at them, if you will, and then it's like they just disappear. And I'm like, do you ever consider that maybe it's you? Yep, and maybe because, you know what I'm saying, you've covered the base of, you know, you got your, you know, your little makeup and your little hair, whatever together, and you just thought that was going to be the key. And then my man heard you open your mouth and then he was like, nah, she ain't it. Or to Chloe's point, you know what I'm saying, you've been posting some subjective pictures on the gram, you know what I'm saying, your little thirst trap joints. And now my man was looking like, you know, okay, yeah, you know, she got a little body, but I'm looking for a wife. So I don't want my wife out here, you know, half naked. And I'm like, I want to do, you know what I'm saying, do some of these ladies consider that? Because it's just like at the end of the day, if you're a decent, you know what I'm saying, and I'm sure a lot of dudes can vouch, if you're a decent looking woman, you're going to get some hollers. Now, the dude may have some conversation with you and turn the corner after he hears something or the conversation is red flagging all day. But if you're a decent looking young lady, you're going to get some hollers. Like dudes, I'm going to be honest, dudes is basic like that. You're going to get some hollers. But then once my man dig into you, if he sees something or if he hears something, he going to be out the door.
Yeah, I will say that's kind of, I think, the pattern with me. Like, if somebody does get to the point where they have basic conversations, which I feel like it's the same three questions. It's like either maybe what you do for work, or it's definitely if you got kids. And once I say no, it's like I feel like it's like a little double take. Like you lying or you for real? I'm like, nah, I don't. And then it's no, for real. And then typically after that, it's something on the lines of, do you cook? And depending on the demographic of the person, obviously my cooking has changed. So depending, I'll get, so what do you really cook? And again, depending on demographic, then we get into more of a conversation. But yeah, just I don't know. I don't think I just have that just super popping initial first look. That's just me. And I know
I got
me.
you.
So.
I got you. Okay, I was just curious. I just wanted to ask that question real quick. I saw you all pop off, Vince. I didn't know if you wanted to say something, man.
Yeah, I think that dating is not financially beneficial for most men. And I know that women always say, well, our grandfathers did it, but our grandfathers wasn't dating 5 or 6 women in a week and 20 women in a month and 100 women a year. They got one lady and they wined and dined her till they got married, or a couple women. It wasn't 3, 4. And then that's almost a car note. I mean, you take this one, the cheesecake, you might take this one, the Red Lobster, and then you got to take the one you really want, the Roost Chris, because you're trying to impress. And I think that also when you get to a certain age, men understand that you probably having sex with somebody that ain't doing half of this. And see, that's the issue too. Women have standards for certain men. For some men, you got to take them out, but the other men, all they got to do is call and come on this Netflix and chill, and you busting it open. So men understand that. So men almost got to be guaranteed, like because men want sex. Men want sex, and then a relationship, maybe.
But isn't that a problem though? Like, I don't understand that.
And if we can't get, And my thing is this here. Y'all want to be so equal, start taking men on dates, but you don't want to do that either. Oh, I don't want to seem desperate. Oh, I want to be treated like a... What that got to do? Pay for it. You like him too? On the second date. But y'all don't want to do that either. But then y'all will have sex with somebody who ain't doing nothing. And men understand that. Y'all can sit up here and lie and say, oh, well, not every man that you done busted down for ain't took you out recently. Come on now, ladies. Tell the truth. He ain't even brought you a $5 little shit. Come on now. But the one, oh, well, he gotta wine and dine me. But Roy, who done been your dick in a glass for 10 years, all he gotta do is come through.
Lord.
Bruh.
And that's how men feel. So unless we almost certain that we gonna get some, sorry, ladies, y'all. It ain't like it used to be. Y'all want men to go back, but y'all got to go back too. Then y'all want men. I want the flowers and I want the this, but that was one date, and y'all was intentionally getting married. It wasn't. Well, I want him to take me out to see if I like him, see if he got some money.
Come on.
That's the truth. And I was single for 20-something years. But I like going out. I like eating at fine. So it wasn't really a thing to me because I liked it too. It wasn't a big bother. But for the average guy, for the average earning guy, it's expensive dating. Especially when you ain't getting nothing out of it. When she when she done left you at Roost Chris and then she go home and call up Roy. Because ladies, y'all doing that. Come on now. They just be 100. And we calling up that little side piece too. But we ain't spending no money on her. Spend money on you.
Ooh-wee.
That's
right.
I'm
you don't find that
suspicious.
suspicious.
I'm the voice.
You don't find that suspicious.
Y'all like somebody like
hey, I hate it here.
Y'all take him out.
The data, I told you, data work got P in it. I can't. Like it's.
No, the dating pool does have P. And then you know what? I be sitting here talking to y'all like I'm single. I'm not single, but but I was single for so long, and I still got the game in me, and I like it. But I'm okay with being, not single. But I had my time. It was fun. It does have P in it, and you got to learn how to just, it ain't checkers. It's definitely chess. So you just got to learn how to play it. And I did come in on the tail end, but everything Vince saying is definitely correct, But in my day, my Roys, I could call my Roys at any time and pay a bill. You know what I mean? So if I call Roy and be like, hey, this E bill due, he gonna be like, okay, babe, what you need? So maybe that's why Roy, I would leave a date and then would call the Roy that's been around that can call anytime. He is very, dang, Vince. But yeah, but I did want to make a comment about the video. I think the girl is just I don't know if vain is the word. I think that because she is a very pretty girl, and I think that she is wondering why she is so pretty and nobody is taking her out. And not maybe thinking about her not being able to hold a conversation, or her not having a personality, or her, she's not thinking about that part, because after so many times, you got to start looking at yourself, right? After 1, 2, 3 times, you got to be like, dang, why they keep ghosting me, So, yeah, that was my comment to the video.
But Tay, so this is my question to that. So then why don't the ladies just ask? So this lady is on this video saying that ain't nobody took her on no date outside of some whack dude. Ain't took her on no real date in 2 years. So why has she not asked? Why don't y'all just ask men what the problem is? Like
our favorite word, accountability. Because once constructive criticism comes some accountability.
Man, this accountability.
Oh
boy.
my God.
So they be scared to hear something maybe bad about themselves.
So then we gonna sit here.
That's kind of immature at a point too. Like if you just gonna keep walking through life not knowing the real, like that's a little...
Very much so.
But I thought we're mature faster than men.
So say that again, JR.
Is that really true though?
I said,
Say that. Wait, hold
women,
on. I missed that. Say that again, JR.
I'm saying I thought women mature faster than men.
That's a lie, man.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think
Yeah,
that's
I think
I
that's
know
a
we was
lie.
always told that. So here's what I think it is.
They just got time to bullshit more.
I think physical
In cases.
maturity and mental and emotional maturity are different. And I think that there is some emotional maturity that women may have an edge on men, and some physical maturity that women may have an edge on men, simply because of the way our bodies are made up and the things that we experience at a young age as young women, right? So I'll give you that. But are we more mature as people? I'm starting to believe that that's not true. That's not true. What I'm saying, that's not true.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I said I think that was another thing that we were fed growing up, but I think that looks different. And like I said, some of the things that I see today, because I'm in a lot of this content, some of the things that I see today does not validate that at all. Yeah, but does not validate that at all. But like I said, I just think that was one of those things that we were fed. And then also too, I think, to be honest, I think maturity can plateau. Right. So we all know that some folks had what you want to call a growth spurt. So they was this height, and then it's like they just accelerated, and then they just plateaued out, and they never got any taller. And for me, just based off some of the stuff that I've seen, I think maturity works that same way. I think somebody can accelerate or be in a mature situation, but then it plateaus out. And then even in adult life, when you see certain things from other people that are quote unquote adults, you're like, wait a minute, bro. Like, you ain't no better than that, or like that's how you handling that. So I don't believe that, but I just think that's something we were fed growing up. I just don't think it's true. J.U. Griffin said women do not want to hear that maybe it's them. They rather believe a comfortable lie than have to deal with an upsetting truth.
Big fact.
So yeah. So J.U. Griffin, no, I think this is a valid comment. I just wonder, what is the threshold? Yep, like when does the comfortable lie run out? Yep, at the end of the day, like I said earlier, if you're a decent looking young lady, somebody gonna be shooting some game, somebody gonna be trying to holler, just based off that alone before you even open your mouth. Yeah, so the fact that you're not getting no action in 2 years, that says something. And I would just at some point, because I know men move a little differently, at some point you're gonna be like, all right, what is it? Hey, sis, let me holler at you. You know what I'm saying? What do you see what do you hear when you talk to me? Or, what is it? My gear? What, I need to go hit this gym real quick? Like, what is it? Guys are going to be quicker to go ask them questions. So I don't know what the ladies be holding up on. But, once again, we back to that A word again. Go ahead, Vince.
And then I think it's sometimes, when you get to a certain age, and I've been on both sides, I think nobody is really single. Everybody is dealing with somebody. So, yeah, everybody's dealing with somebody because we all having sex, so we dealing with somebody. It ain't too many people that's abstinent. They having sex with somebody. So when you get into these dates, like for instance, I went on a date with a woman when I was single, and her phone was just blowing up. We could even have a good conversation. Her phone was blowing up so much. And I'm like, why are you sitting up here trying to date me and you got a whole situation? And people get into these situationships, and then they wonder why. And then I'm spending, but I mean, the food was good, so I was good. But that was a $120 meal. I could have sat by myself and just ate it for $60, and just played on my phone or something. Eating.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of times men have gotten smart on that date tip. You know what I'm saying? And dating has gotten very expensive. It used to be where you can go to Applebee's and go to the movies for $40. Nah, it's $200 easy.
Right.
On the date. And income ain't risen that much. And if you're going on 2 or 3 dates a week, that's a car note. And
That's
then
real.
look, well, I don't want no Starbucks date, or I don't want to just meet for ice cream. If he don't take me out, he must not be interested. No, it's not. It's not financially reasonable.
That's real.
I
And
mean,
then they don't want to take the
don't you
men
get
out.
creative with the dates at that point? Like it's
Y'all don't want no creative dates. Stop that.
I do.
Yeah, maybe you do.
They
Maybe
want the
because I
creative
like
dates
new
with the
things and to
guys.
venture out
They
and
want the
whatever, but
creative
it's
dates with
ways
the
to get
guys that
creative
they
with
don't
dates.
want. They want the creative dates with the guys they don't want.
You know what I've learned about dating, and as far as like maturity, because maturity also comes with life lessons, you know, and especially now being in the South, a lot of these people down here in the South, they haven't had the life lessons that we have had because of our city moving a little bit faster than they moved down here. And so I think that maturity part comes with, you know, so sometimes when you jumped off the porch, you know, and I'm not saying you jump, I mean, I did. I definitely jumped off the porch kind of quick. And I'm not saying you did, Nicole, but when you jump off the porch quick and you are kind of seasoned, you probably need to date somebody that is just as well seasoned. Instead of you know, getting with somebody that might be a little green and then having to teach them a lot of things. And you know, you know, y'all see this trauma. I'm speaking from trauma, you know, and you know, just you know, because it's people, you know, you got to go through the TSA with them, tell them take off the shoes.
Oh man, we done lost Tay. Tay, come back. We lost your connection. Come back, Tay. Go ahead, JR. You want to say something, man? I didn't know you want to say something. I got a scam on here too as well. Y'all want to say anything? Y'all good?
Scam. No, pass on. Scam.
You good, scam?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
I'm still just listening.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, we almost at curveball. I was gonna let Tay finish what she was saying. Somebody sent me a little curveball I got to throw up in a minute. What is it, 10 o'clock? I might go and throw that up now.
Go ahead, let's go. Let's get it.
All right, so somebody sent me a curveball. Let me switch this title up real quick. Yeah, this about to, I don't know. It's a little X-rated playing around with y'all. All right, curveball topic. Have the ladies been lying on the men? All right, so shout out to the person that sent me this video. I'm about to go ahead and throw this little curveball in here. I'm going to get a little interesting with it.
Okay, so I had a thought, and y'all know me and my thoughts. And you know how whenever situations occur where, you know, unplanned pregnancies and women love to use the excuse that, you know, he could have used a condom, right? Well, when are women going to start admitting that they like to have unprotected sex just as much as men like to have unprotected sex? Yes, yes, y'all do. And, well, we do, right? And I'm just speaking from a woman's perspective, right? Because a lot of y'all are not requiring it. The only way a man can have unprotected sex, you have to allow him to, which means you didn't give a lot of pushback, right? And then a lot of y'all, or at least some of y'all, I shouldn't say a lot of y'all, but at least some of y'all will give that excuse that, you know, condoms, latex condoms at least, you know, irritate you, right? Which that could be the case. But you need to keep condoms in stock that your hoo-ha is okay with. It shouldn't be the responsibility of a man to carry all these different types of condoms, right? Most of them are probably going to have the typical brand, and it's probably going to be latex. There are other options, but if you know you can't handle certain condoms, then you need to have those condoms, you know, in stock for your sessions, right? And the same way that he could be using a condom is the same way that you can get on birth control, right? And I just think it's so interesting because a lot of women use the same excuse. They don't like the way birth control impacts their body. Well, if you get pregnant, how do you think pregnancy is going to impact your body? And not even during, I'm not even just talking about during pregnancy. I'm even talking about after pregnancy. I'm just like, we got to pick our battles here. Then we know y'all like unprotected sex, right? Because we have little walking evidences, you know, walking around here that prove each time at least, you know, you had it at least once or a couple times, depending on the number of kids you have. So again, the same way that we say that men could use a condom, well, we could require it. We could require the use of condoms. I mean, even birth control. A lot of women don't want to get on birth control, and a lot of times they blame their pregnancies because of failed birth control. Well, if you look at the studies, a lot of the failed birth control is because it was not taken properly. Or you might have been taking something that interferes with the effectiveness of the birth control. But typically medicines let you know that, and your doctor lets you know that. And of course, if in those cases, you should be inquiring or introducing another form of contraceptive measures. So to put all this responsibility on a man to protect your womb and to make sure that you don't get pregnant, sis, you were okay with that risk when you were okay with allowing him to have unprotected sex with you. Like, that's what we got to stop blaming these men for these situations, and we are just as responsible for the outcome of these situations. Unprotected sex leads to babies, which means you are okay with potentially having a baby with this man. You're risking it, right? So we got to stop acting like men are the only ones that like to have unprotected sex. Women do too, and it's apparent.
Okay. So yeah, so this is the curveball for the night. So this this video came my way. So is she right? Is it because I said I always heard it was the dudes, but now she's saying that the ladies actually is for the unprotected and raw dogging and all of that. So man, somebody schooled me. Is she right or is she wrong? Go ahead, Vince. I saw you come off, man.
I'm the voice of reason and the voice of truth. Ever since Magic Johnson, ain't nobody wearing no condoms. If it ain't worth dying for, it ain't worth getting it.
Wow. Come on,
ain't
man.
Ain't nobody wearing no condoms. We all like since Magic Johnson, ain't nobody wearing no condoms.
Is that the mentality,
especially if you over a certain age. If you may be over 30, ain't nobody wearing no damn condoms. They want to feel it. They want that raw dog. And I keep it all the way 100. And the only way that saved me from having more kids is I dealt with women that didn't want no kids, and I knew they was on Marina, they was on the patch. I know about them. They was on Marina, they was on the patch, they was on the clip, and I knew when their doctor's appointment was, and I took them to some of them. That's the only reason that saved me. Keeping it 100. Ain't nobody wearing no condoms. That's why. How you get a woman that got a 20-year-old, a 19-year-old, and a 3-year-old? It ain't never been married.
That's real.
There's a lot of them. Got a 19-year-old and a 4-year-old, they never married. Got good to them.
So this ain't okay, because like I said, the video threw me back. That's why I was like, this is gonna be a little curveball topic for the night. So this ain't a guy thing. So ladies is in on this.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna be honest, and I know my wife is listening. We talk about everything. In 20 years of dating, I ain't never been asked to put no condom on. I have, but I ain't never been asked to. All type of women.
That's real.
Because women don't care. They want to feel. Why? I mean, I'm not trying to be too graphic, but they want to feel the explosion. They don't care.
Oh my God!
We keep trying to tell y'all that women are very sexual. Women are highly sexual. It's not just you guys. Women are highly sexual, and probably want it more often than you guys do.
This is what this is blowing me away.
And just like Eva said, like it's gotten to the point now. It's gotten to the point now where they don't care about that. They don't care about sexually transmitted diseases. We can't care about that because we out here. I mean, and we think pregnancy is the worst thing that can happen to us. That's what we think. You can catch something that you can't get rid of, but people don't care about that like that.
So what is this? This is accountability again. Is that what this comes back to? Because I said when I saw this video, I'm like, okay, because I know we typically put this on the guys. This is a guy problem, right? So the guys are the ones who don't want to do this and don't want to do that and don't want to protect and all of this. But according to what this young lady is saying, the ladies is in sync on this one as well. But that never gets portrayed. Like that never gets pushed out there, even though we understand the piece of the children and all of that stuff that comes along with this, but that piece is never pushed. It's always pushed as the guy is the one who is pushing for this protection and all of this, and the woman is somehow, she's separated from that discussion. So yeah, this a curveball for me. Just hearing this. Was that JR? Go ahead, JR.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because remember, everything in society when it comes to sex for men are penalized across the board. So it makes it easier for the woman not to obviously be held accountable. Hence why we hear the words such as, he knocked her up. What do you mean I knocked you up? I couldn't knock you without you letting me knock you up. If you know what I mean. So if I knock you up without your consent, what do we call that? If she tells me to if she tells me to put the condom on, and I take it off midway, what do they call that? Because that's also a crime. So everywhere across the board, men are penalized when it comes to sex. So, like I said, that's what it makes it easier to put it on the men and not the women. But we see how it plays out, right? They lead with the authority, but you're responsible in the bedroom. That's how it goes. So they lie to have sex with them, but you're responsible after that.
Yeah, this is a wild one right here. This is a wild one. I forgot who sent me this, but shout out to you. Yeah, I said I think with some of this stuff, I think we got to get real. Because I said, to Eva Wright's point, she made a comment earlier. It takes two. I think a lot of this stuff we have to approach it this way. If it be this topic around this unprotected sex, if it be this topic around this dating, a lot of these issues that we're running into as Black men and Black women, these are not one-sided issues. Yeah, this is not just on the men or just on the women. These are collective issues. Yeah, we both have active participation in these issues. But at the same time, we got to have active participation in the fallout. And I think that's where the problem comes in. You know what I'm saying? We've seen multiple videos tonight where, we got the young lady, the Asian lady who's talking on her video, talking about the fact that, these men are coming over to these foreign countries to look for these wives because of these different character traits. But then we don't want to look at the other side of why that's happening. We have a situation in video number 2 where the young lady is saying that, these guys are reaching out to her and then they ghosting her essentially, and she's never really getting a chance to go on these dates and so forth. And she's trying to figure out what the problem is. But then at the same time, not looking at the possibility that some of that could be her. Then we're in this situation right here with this unprotected sex. And once again, another topic that is essentially positioned to the men, but we still have 2 people involved in this situation. Yep. And of course, 2 people have to be involved in the fallout. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, we got to start looking at these things from both sides, not just one-sided, because that's what feels best or that's what keeps us out the fire. Let me come down to Scam. I saw you come off mute. You want to say something, man? Or you good, brother?
Actually, that video was legit because she mentioned it about the women without making it a blame the women's or blame the men's. She just talked about it. 90% of the videos that people react on are about 30-40% of them are comedians or Instagram influencers just trying to get clicks and views. 30-40% of the other ones are people who just say anything. I call them the talking point mafia. All they do is repeat the same 6 things about men's and women's. And they got it from Kevin Samuels or some Oprah show in the 90s. It's the same 6 things. Or the accountability mafia. Question is, would anybody like a change in behavior? So talk to people as individuals, one by one, who are doing bad behavior. Listen to them, understand where they're coming from, and slowly navigate them towards somewhere else. But most of what it is, there's the judgmental mafia where somehow they perfect and they better than everybody. And these bad people, them peoples, these peoples, them women's, them foreign, them domestic, them black, something wrong with everybody, but they got it all right some kind of way. No, ain't nobody believe in that. Or to hold them accountable people, get them, get them, get them. All they did, let's be real. They did something that you didn't want them to do and you don't like it, which makes it about you, not about them or the behavior. You don't like what you saw. You don't like what you smelled, and you got a problem with it. Versus saying, hey, if I was in this person's shoes, I'd be doing the same thing, maybe something even worse. Or, hey, I did that 5 years ago. I did that 5 minutes ago. Let me show this person another way. Let me hear this person out and try to navigate them somewhere else. Now, if they start talking trash, I mean, I'm a troll anyway. They talk trash, I mean, hey, have at it. But, you know, that's all I got. But accountability, people holler accountability all the time. That's after people have already screwed up. So what's it really going to do? Accountability for homicides, the dude's already laying there dead. You can't bring him back to life. And if you don't change the behavior, his brother going to be dead next week. This is going to keep going on. And there's a whole bunch of people hollering and slobbering about what happened. Where's the correction? Where's the guidance? The, hey, come here, let me talk to you, man. What's really going on? Where's that at? That's all I got.
Yeah, and I understand that. And I think what some of that stems from is, you know what I'm saying, you want to get somebody to understand that essentially they have to look at how they're thinking about things, right? Yeah, but at the end of the day, a lot of the stuff that folks do out here, a lot of the things that we do out here, a lot of the stuff, it ain't right. Yeah, but we've convinced ourselves that it's right. Yeah, but I think that's where the accountability discussion comes in. Like I said, everything that you do or everything that feels good to you is not right. Yeah, but we live in a world where we feel like it's right. Yeah, folks out here doing dirty. We feel like it's right. We feel like they deserved it. Yeah, folks out here in these one-sided situations, knowing that they had an active part, but you know, essentially pulling themselves out of it. That's not right. You got to take your ownership because you was in that thing. Yeah, so at the end of the day, somebody, you know what I'm saying, somebody has to have the conversation and somebody has to point out the mindset, because a lot of our mindsets have been skewed and been controlled and conditioned by a lot of the stuff that's pushed our way. Yeah, so I think that's where the change has to be. Yeah, if somebody has to call these things out because essentially they didn't either been down the road or just simply because they know better. Yeah, but that's also a part of the suppression that's going on now as well, because there's some suppression going on for the folks who do know better. They can get suppressed out here. Yeah, because the masses don't want to do better. They want to just go along with status quo and they want to do what feels good. Yep, to the young lady's point. Yeah, they want to do what feel good. And that's not always right. Yeah, and I think that's the difference. Somebody still has to call these things out. Somebody still has to stand against some of these mindsets that we've taken on. If it be in this with this sex, if it be in these relationships, if it be in these marriages. Yeah, the folks who are out here and who know the value of a marriage, they need to speak out against some of these negative things that are pushed out here about marriage, because these people don't really know. They don't understand. They ain't married. Yeah, so I think we can't discount that piece of it. Somebody got to speak against some of this nonsense that's going on, because all this nonsense is not right. And it's not what we're supposed to be doing.
Well, how do you call right? Okay. How do you call right? Because the goal is, I mean, there's right, wrong, and there's effective and ineffective. You can call something right or wrong, but if it's not effective, it ends up being a waste of time.
That's subjective, unfortunately.
Yeah, I said it is subjective, but I
That's
hear you.
I mean, this is the thing. When you start playing in gray areas and talking in circles, like absolutely we know that what I feel is right to me, right? You might feel completely different about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there is a moral code. Regardless if, and this I think this is the problem, regardless if people want to um adapt to that or accept it or go along with it. I get it. Everybody believes what they believe or don't believe, and that's part of the problem, right? But there is, and I think we touched on this last show, there is a moral code. Like that's why we have a whole justice system. We can say that some of the laws that have been created are not fair, right? Or not just, which we know there's truth there, but they still exist, right? They exist to establish a foundation of right and wrong in society's eyes, right? They might not be right or wrong to me, might not be right or wrong to you, but there has to be a standard that's set, right? It keeps us from just being able to go out and do whatever, anytime. And I think that we do need to stand on some type of principles. We do need to have that when we're talking about our relationships, whether it's romantic or platonic. Like there does need to be a standard. Otherwise, people are just going to be doing whatever. And that's chaotic, right? Like we can keep saying everything is subjective and everything is subjective, but that keeps us in this circle where I don't stand on anything. You don't stand on anything. The next person, we don't stand on anything. And it allows us this freedom to do whatever anytime. People need to be held accountable for their actions. People are out here mistreating other people. That's not okay. That needs to be talked about. Now, is that the solution? No. That's just the first step. People have to first recognize that there's an issue. Then once we recognize that there's an issue, then we can say, okay, what do we do about this? Accountability isn't the solution. Somebody being accountable sets a tone, right? So even if that person, like you said, the homicide has been perpetrated. Accountability is not going to bring that person back. However, what accountability does for the people who are around, who see that this person has been held accountable for what they did, is it gives them pause when it's time for them to consider whether or not they want to commit homicide. Because I saw how that person was held accountable for that. Do I want to go down that road? Are those the same consequences I want? That's what it does. Us having these conversations about holding a person accountable for their behavior or their actions that affects another person negatively, having those conversations, our hope and our desire and our goal is so that people who are actually wanting to be a part of repair, they'll see it and go, that's true. That wasn't okay. Or that's right. Like, that's not cool to do to a person. Or no. And now we're affecting change, right? That's the only real way you can do it. You have to it starts with a conversation. It starts with accountability. It starts with awareness. You have to start with awareness. And I think that's what these conversations do. They bring awareness. Now, I agree with you. Sometimes we're just having conversations to just have conversations. I can't speak for nobody else's platform. We don't just have conversations to have conversations. These conversations don't benefit us outside of us wanting to pour into the community. That's the benefit we get out of the conversations. So there is no incentive for us to just get on here and waste time. But I understand that that's what happens. That's not.
No, I was gonna say, how can I say it? Example being, if I decide I'm gonna knock off a liquor store, or I decided I'm gonna commit a crime, I knew what the consequences were. I knew exactly what I was doing. But if you don't get to the actual why I'm knocking the liquor store in the first place, that's more. My belief is that belief in the value system is 10 times stronger than accountability after the fact or the consequences after the fact. People don't feel consequences. Meaning, for example, if your best friend had $100 sitting on the table and you believe you could steal it and get away with it, a decent person is not going to do it because of their value system, not because of the consequences. Meaning, if there's a value system in place, you don't even need laws. You don't need accountability. All you need is conversation and put people into this. Put people into the value system. But I think a lot of times it's done backwards. See the behavior, recognize it, make it about right or wrong, holding a person accountable, but never getting to the actual person. Why are you doing what you're doing? That's what we need to correct. If that's corrected, never have to worry about accountability, consequences, and they can actually go and influence, because now they believe in a value system. They believe in what it is.
How do you do? Okay, so fine. So let's go with that. So how do you do that? How do you get to the person beforehand?
Beforehand, it could be afterhand. People are where they are. There's somebody you know right now that's off track. Possibly.
How do you get to that?
Okay, call them. First of all, say, hey, let's have a conversation. Listen to them. They'll tell you everything. A lot of people are further off track because people call them and it's about right or wrong and they judge them. Most people have low self-esteem. And when they're being judged, they'll do a couple things. One, rebel, go 100% the other direction. Two, sit there and say, yeah, Then hang up the phone and break all the way down. Like, man, I can't do this. But
so how do we? Okay, because we're on a show.
Okay.
Let's bring it current day in current situation. How do we do that then with this show? Because this is a platform, right?
Okay.
This podcast is a platform. We're all online to reach people, right? We don't have individual people who are coming on this particular panel with these specific issues. We're reacting to videos of people that we don't know. So how do we do that? What you're saying, which I'm not disagreeing with, but how do we get there from here where we are reacting to videos of people we don't know their personal situations?
Okay. One suggestion, one of the people in the videos, reach out to them on Instagram, invite them to the show. But have the full conversation. Let them talk about everything all the way from 1 through 10. What I hear a lot, and I'm not taking a shot at anybody, but just in general in a lot of spaces, hear the person talk. Some of it's real, some of it's fake. They don't like what they said. They hate men's. They hate women's. They do this. They go straight to 10, and I want a consequence. They need to lock this person up. They need to delete this person. See, that's the problem. They ain't all the way to 10. You know who that person is? They could just be doing for clicks and views. It could be about money. It could be about, but find out. Or they dealing with something. But obviously, if behavior is wrong, that is your indicator. They ain't into no value system. They over there somewhere. They could actually be in the middle and just venting. In the middle, you might can win them over. And if they're just too far gone, you might just can't get them. But there's a lot of people who, somebody told me this because I'm still single. Go out there and meet a woman. She looks like she's out of control. Don't talk to her. Some people look like they're out of control, smell like it, but if you talk to them, they're really not. Bad day, bad this, whatever. Because somebody can look at me. You got a wife beater on. They make their judgments about me, but you don't actually know the person, what they've been through, who they really are. But some of them aren't as far off as people may think. But it could have been 2 strikes. The last boyfriend was Raw Dog Ronnie. The one before that was Joe Jackson or Ike Turner. The next one, they're done. 2 strikes out, you might can save them. I'm off track. I forgot what I was even talking about.
Yeah, I'm off track too.
My bad. But no, long story short, back on track. I think people are quick to pull the trigger and put an X or already throw somebody into the judgment chamber. And realize 5, 10, 7, however many years ago, there was stuff we was doing that was just like them.
Yeah, but I gotta disagree on that scam, and the only reason
I'm beating to death, it doesn't work. It doesn't.
Yeah,
criminals come out of jail and commit more crime.
Only thing I'm gonna disagree with that is the fact that we have to. Sometimes I think we have to also understand what we're saying. Yeah, just because somebody is correcting you or telling you something that you're doing is out of pocket, don't mean they judging you.
Why is it
So
always
that's
judgment?
that's one thing
That's
we
not going
like
to
to
receive
do.
it.
We
Why is
we
it
like to
always
we
judgment?
like to over leverage this word. I'm gonna go and just be honest. We like to over leverage this word of judgment. See, a lot of the reason why we like to over leverage this word of judgment is because at the end of the day, we don't want to take responsibility or own some of these bad decisions that we are making.
Period.
The other thing is as a society, we no longer shame people.
That's not true. That's all they do is shame
No,
people.
it's definitely
That's
true.
all
We
they do.
let a lot of this nonsense ride, and then we try to give it an excuse. We try to talk about somebody, they almost a little bit there, and then all this. We try to do all this nonsense, and at the end of the day, we know they flat out wrong. Yeah. So at the end of the day, we gotta start owning what we out here doing. So that's a lot of the problem. We don't want to own what we do. We don't want to own the decisions that we make. Yeah, but if we decide that we want to lay down with some female unprotected and raw, then best believe one of your outcomes could be a baby. Yeah, don't be trying to act like you ain't know this could happen and all this nonsense that we try to do. Don't try to come back talking about, oh, it was a mistake and all this nonsense. It wasn't no mistake. You knew what that was about when you got into it, but you don't want to own that thing because now this is the outcome that you dealt with. And then we want to come back and say somebody judging us about it. And see, that's why I got to draw the line. Yeah, but at the end of the day, own what you're doing. If we want to talk about, because we brought this up earlier in the show, if we want to talk about maturity, be that. Yeah, if I make a decision as a man, I got to ride that decision out. I can't go look for no pass. I can't go look for nobody to fall back on. I can't call Vince and be like, hey, Vince, help me out. I done got her pregnant. I can't do none of that. I got to own the decision that I made. And at the end of the day, if we're going to be adults and call ourselves that, we got to do that. You have somebody telling you or somebody identifying that something that you did that you know is incorrect. It's not always a judgment, but we love to use that word because we want to suppress the people that are calling out our nonsense. That's usually why we use that word. Oh, you judging me. Oh, you doing this. No, it just is what it is, and you got to own it. So now let me just put that out there because I hear this all the time. Now we love to throw that word around, that judgment word. And sometimes I don't even think we truly understand what judgment even means.
Hey, I gave a solution.
No, I'm not mad. But like I said, just in that discussion and in that point, Scam, I done heard this a million times, man. And like I said, we love to throw that back at somebody for identifying some bad stuff we out here doing. We want to say they judging us. And it's not always a judgment. A lot of times people just want to see you do better. Yeah, how about that? Why don't we consider that at some point? Maybe I just want to see you do better. Yet maybe I've made some bad decisions in my past and went down that road. And maybe I'm saying, hey, young fella, I see where you're going. It's not about to end how you think it's going to end. That's not a judgment. But see, we always want to label that as judgment because at the end of the day, like Vince said before, we just want to do what we want to do. Yep, and when somebody speaks against us, just wanting to do what we want to do or what feels good to us, then we want to say they judging us. And that's not the case. Yep, sometimes as a man, you just want to see young fellas coming behind you, doing better and making better decisions because you made some bad ones in the past, or if you've seen the outcome of what making certain decisions looks like in the future. It's not a judgment. Yeah, so I think we have to really understand what that word is and not try to weaponize this judgment word because everything that somebody says to you that you don't like or that you need to hear, it ain't always a judgment. Let me come to Vince real quick. I saw you come off mute. Go ahead, Vince.
Yeah. I kind of think I get what Scam is trying to say. He's trying to say let's prevent the bad behavior before it happens.
For sure.
That's not what, but I think that also needs to be a moral compass and a moral high ground because that's the problem that we have in our society. There is no truth. It's my truth. There is no everybody like having kids out of wedlock. That's a bad decision across the board. But people will say, oh, well, it worked out for me and oh, it doesn't matter. No, most of the time it's a bad decision. Not getting a high school diploma is a bad decision. But we want to say, oh, well, that might work out for you, but it didn't work out for me. Like, I had a child at 17 and another one at 22. I would never tell anyone, oh, well, it worked out for me. I think it worked out for you. No, a lot of things fell my way. And it might not fall that way for you at having a child at 17. So, yes, that was not a great decision. That was wrong. So, yes, there is a such thing as right and wrong because of the results. If you had 50 people on here and had a child at 17, half of them probably in poverty. Half of them, the children are not where they need to be because you don't know how to raise a child at 17 years old. Come on. Let's just be honest. You don't know how to raise a child. You're not even an adult yet. You know what I'm saying? So we need to understand that it's about the results. So you can judge because you judge it based on the results. That's what makes it right or wrong. If you got bad results, then it's wrong. If you don't have the results that you want, you can't go out here and have a bunch of kids and then think, oh, okay, I'm gonna find Mr. Russell Wilson. It's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen for most. That was wrong. So I think that's the problem, Scam. We don't want to set boundaries of what's right and what's wrong. And that's what we used to have back in the day. I was raised in the church. Either you was saved or you was a sinner.
You're proving my point, actually.
You was going to heaven or hell. That's it. You was living right or you was living wrong. That doesn't mean perfect. That does not mean perfect. Everybody's going to have some stumbles. But I'm saying be on the right path, though. See, people want to say, well, you got, no, nobody not saying be perfect. But do the right thing.
Vince.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So basically, yeah, I get what. Obviously, the whole discourse there was very, very good and interesting, right? And obviously, I watched a few panels or whatnot where Scam has hopped on and whatnot, and I like the way Scam obviously speaks and whatnot. Sometimes I'm a bit trolling and whatnot, but the way he delivers his message, yeah, obviously you can break it down and either agree or don't agree with it, right? But obviously, with what Scam is saying, I think it's just one of those ones where we are in society today, yeah. I don't think he's saying that we shouldn't judge or there shouldn't be no pushback or whatever it is, yeah. The perfect example of that would be the guy that played for the Chiefs, I think it was, the kicker or whatever it is, that just on that presentation at the award ceremony or wherever it is at the university. I think it's like a Chiefs kicker or something like that, NFL player. And it mentioned something about, women basically seeing their own value of being mothers and all of that kind of stuff or whatnot. And he got pushed back. And as obviously Chloe and Scam was going, back and forth. That's what I was kind of thinking about, where the whole right and wrong, what's effective and what's ineffective. And the perfect example would be what that guy brought up, where the values of where society is today, we don't accept the basic standards, and it's affecting both genders, where we can't judge. There should be no pushback. We shouldn't do this. We shouldn't do that because people don't accept the basic standard of where we should be between both men and women.
It's more to it than that.
Yeah, Chloe, what happened was there was a football player who did a graduation speech at a Christian university.
Okay.
And he was saying that the ladies, along with your degree, put a value on being wives and that type of thing. And so the ladies were like, well, that doesn't matter. There's no value in being a wife. Or you trying to suppress these women. Why are you talking about that? And they're getting college degrees. But he was just saying, along with this college degree, also value being a wife and a mother.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. Go ahead, Chloe, and we get ready to wrap.
I mean, this is my wrap, and I'll leave it here. I see a lot of talk about how the old people need to talk to the young people. I think that's weird to me. I think it's weird to me. We were the young generation, right? A generation ago, right? We were the young generation. And the old people spoke their wisdom into us. We didn't tell them how to speak their wisdom into us. That's insane. How do you tell someone with the wisdom how they need to speak the wisdom into you? That's what I see a lot of. That's how I see. That's what I see a lot. I see a lot of us wanting to. It's like we want to tell people how they should pour into us instead of allowing ourselves to be poured into. Right? Everything that somebody tells you may not fit. We get that. Everything that somebody tells you may not be profitable for you. So you have to learn how to have some discernment. Some stuff you gotta just let it go. It ain't for you. It don't fit. It's not relevant. And then some stuff you have to go sit with it and go, is there something I can get out of this? Is there something that I can receive from this? Because this is someone who's lived a life. They've had all kinds of experiences. And now they're trying to pour into me about, what they've learned. And maybe, just maybe, there's something I can get out of this, right? That'll help me somehow. But if every time somebody wants to pour into you or give you some keys, you go, because initially it's not what you want to hear, or initially it's not being delivered the way that you would prefer it to be delivered, then no, we don't even want to just receive it. It might not be applicable. You might hear it and go, but at this point now, we want to block it. We don't even want them to say it. We are not trying to receive. And I feel like we're missing it, right? These morals and principles that we keep talking about, yeah, that makes sense. I'm more happy, morals and principles, that makes sense. That makes sense. As if we're young people just learning, just growing, and just coming into our own, how are we going to automatically know these morals and principles if we don't have an example from somebody before us? If we don't, how are we going to, remember, we're new to this. We're learning, we're growing. How are we going to automatically know these principles and these morals to stand on if there's not someone patterning this for us? And if we go, we don't want to hear it, or it's not being given the way I want it, so I'm rejecting it, then we're missing it. And that's what's happening. We're missing it. We are on the internet. This is the point I was making earlier. I'm not discrediting what Scam said. He's absolutely right. You should be trying to make connections with people to really get to know people. But we're on the internet. Our reach potentially is thousands of people. So I can't have a one-on-one conversation with every single person. What I can do is I can take this video and I can use it as a case study. That's what we do with this, in case anybody's confused about what we do here. We take this piece of content and we say, okay, what can we pull from this piece of content that might be something we can talk about to spark conversation? There might be something that we can talk about to maybe provide a lesson for somebody else. Maybe there's some gems that we can pull out of this conversation that somebody else can apply. Maybe we can use this person's, it could be a completely total fake scenario that this person, we don't even know if these people are telling the truth. Which is why when we speak in a general sense. It's just a case study, guys. We don't know these people. So while I would love to be able to have a conversation with every single a person putting out a piece of content, it's not realistic. If that's what you want to do, then you have reach in your community. We've talked about that on the show. You have reach with the people you come in contact with. Those are the people you should be sitting down and have a one-on-one conversation with, because you can actually draw off of their real life scenarios, not just something they could be completely coming up with on the internet. Scam, you mentioned that. You're right. We don't know what these people's motives are. All we can do is speak from why we're here. We're here because we actually want to speak to people who want to have the conversations for real, who want to change, who want to learn, who want to grow. That's why we're here. We can't speak for anybody else and what they do it and what their motivation is and how they making money. That's not my business. My business is I can only be responsible for what I say and what I put out in the world. And I can guarantee you that what I say, I make sure there's some Holy Spirit on that. Whether you agree or believe or not, what I say, it's not just me speaking just because I like the sound of my voice. So I think you have to know a person's motivation as well. At the end of the day, and I'm landing, to go back to the topic, men lie, women lie. They get on these platforms and they lie. So what can we do? We can learn from it. At the end of the day, there is a right, there is a wrong. You don't have to agree. You don't have to believe it. But like Vince said, you can tell if it's wrong if you don't like the results.
Simple as that. There it is. There it is. There it is. All right, we're gonna take some closing. So we gotta get up out of here. It's pushing that time. Let me go to Vince. I'm gonna go to Nicole, Scam, JR, then we out of here. Vince, you want to say anything in closing, brother?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll it all the way back to the original question. Is porn better? I would say no. I would say culture is better. I think that's the problem. It's not black, white, it's culture. And our culture has become trash. Let's just be honest. Our culture is trash. We used to stand on something. We used to stand on family. We used to stand on God. That's if we didn't have anything else, we had God and family. Now we want to make God Santa Claus. That's it. Just give me. So the ladies, there's going to have to be some reflection done. Because everybody wants a certain type of person, but you got to realize, am I giving what they want? Not what you think they want, but what they want. And most of the men that these women want are hard workers, and they need somebody that's going to be a little bit more cooperative. Y'all need to kill that power couple thing, because that'll even work for them. If you want a man who make a certain amount of money, you're going to have to get on this program. It ain't where he need to know. You're going to have to get on his program, or go find you a $50,000 guy and y'all make it work together. Men, if you want a woman that's going to be submissive and all that, then you're going to have to do what you need to do. And most of the time, that's a provider. And I'm just going to keep it 100. Yes, money matters. Because money gives women the comfort to be in their femininity. They don't have to worry about things that you should be worried about. So men, I don't like to hear men, well, I got it. Yes, yeah, you need to get yourself together and get you some money. Then you'll get a woman to act right. Period. And women, if you want a man who got some money, you got to act right. And what does that mean? Cooperative.
Seems simple.
But the problem is, you get these men that ain't that. And men, you get these women that's not that. You have to be what you want somebody. You got to be what these other people want. If I want to find just my wife, fine, cooperative. Jess, I done came in from the gym. She had my salad ready for me. Salad dressing, fork, napkin. Because you know what she ain't got to worry about? She ain't got to worry about if the mortgage is going to get paid. Just sorry. It is what it is, guys. And ladies, if you want that type of man, you got to be cooperative. She ain't up here telling you better be doing this. You better be. She lives in her femininity, and I live in my masculinity, and it works beautifully. So men, if y'all not ready to get y'all money up, just shut up. You don't deserve that type of woman. That's why you get so much talk back and fingers in your face and all that. See, I'm the voice of reason on this panel. I keep it all the way 100. So yes, Foreign ain't better for its culture. Because just like I said, if the ladies can go over there and get a husband in these foreign lands, they would do it. But the money is in America. It ain't over there in Jamaica. They fishermen and all that. Y'all don't want that. So let's just keep it 100. And I'm gonna land.
Simple as that. Simple as that. Okay, Nicole, it's on you. You want to say anything before we get out of here? You good? Okay. All right. Let me come. let me come down. Let me come down to Scam. Scam, you want to say anything before we get out of here, man?
Sure. Today somebody came to fix the towel in the bathroom, and he didn't speak English. He spoke Spanish. So I spoke to him in Spanish, and I listened to him talk in Spanish, and it was effective. I could have just beat him to death and yelled in a bunch of English, but that's not what he understands. It's not what he knows.
Right.
It's also going to be probably offensive for me to say something. How come you ain't? Why you don't know Spanish? You're supposed to just know and do it because you're here. I didn't try to hold him to a standard. I met him where he was. I was able to communicate effective. A lot of people are lacking that. People don't know who they are, what they done been through, none of that. And then they get blasted for an unrealistic standard that they probably can't meet. People listen to who they know, they like, and who they trust. That's salesmanship 101. As well as attitude reflects leadership. As well as today is a reflection of yesterday. The older who was supposed to do all this knowledge in this family building, they lied. We're here today because of yesterday. And people know. There are some people still standing. There's a lot still standing from good morals, principles, and values. And there's a lot of people who are not. But they might have a suit on. They might look like it. They might talk it. They can repeat some stuff. But it ain't what it is. And people do know. The language of Christ is love. People know if you're genuine. People know if you really like, care about them, and have an interest in them actually doing better. They smell it from a mile away. They know. People do bad behavior. Should they be held accountable? Yeah. Ain't no passes. I mean, life is life, and there's plenty of natural consequences. The world looks the way people are bleeding. If you walk across the street and the car's moving, you're going to get hit by a truck. It is what it is. But at one point, then we say, hey, how can we talk to these people and get the message across that didn't get across? Because people are repeatedly running and sprinting and jumping into the street. And some of them are running from the church parking lot into the street. I mean, something ain't been delivered in that church either. Some of them running for the pastor. He the one sent them out there. But I get what y'all are saying. Y'all probably get a part of what I'm saying. There's also a meeting in the middle because every person is different. Every group of people is different. That's all I got.
Okay, no, I appreciate that right there.
Who is this Jesus that's just love? This is just
who is what?
This is just a question that I want to pose.
What'd you say?
You said the language of Jesus is love. Okay, here's the thing. Who is this Jesus? And it's just not directed at you. It's just something I hear sometimes. Okay, I hear this Jesus is love, Jesus is love, and usually I hear from people, and once again, not directed at you, but you did mention this. I hear from people after they have received some type of correction or somebody's trying to correct them. Jesus definitely spoke love, but Jesus also was about correction. There are so many instances where he had to correct people, even his own disciples. He was about that correction. He was turning over tables, baby. He was calling people out.
Right. The language is love.
He was calling them out. Okay. But he is the word himself. So everything he spoke was life. So if he can speak love, but at the same time, he can provide correction, you can't separate them. They came together. It was correction, but it was loving correction, but that don't mean it sting. That's the thing. Like, I want to make sure people understand you can speak the truth in love and it'll still sting just as if, because it's the truth and the truth stings. That's the problem. When you serve someone the truth, it hit real hard because it's the truth. And the truth doesn't need to be validated by ignorance. It stands on its own. So I can speak the truth in love, and people can misinterpret that like somebody doesn't care because they're telling you the truth. I think to look somebody in the face and to be able to tell them the truth instead of telling them a lie, which will preserve the relationship potentially. Because see, I can lie to people all day long. I can get on here and I can pander and I can say whatever people want to hear. And people will like me, women will like me, and I'll probably get a lot of clicks and views and people will follow me on social media. Or I can get on here and I can let the Holy Spirit tell me to speak the truth in love and understand that some people are going to like it. Some people are not going to like it. Some people are going to agree. Some people are not going to agree. But it doesn't make it any less loving because I'm speaking the truth. As long as I'm not being nasty about it, then it is speaking the truth in love, because speaking the truth is not the absence of, hurt feelings, because the truth of the matter is the truth hurts. It does. It's supposed to, because it's supposed to correct you. So I'm not saying you did this, but I feel like it's a little bit of a misrepresentation when we lead with the language of Christ's love and we don't also back that up with the fact that he spent just as much time correcting. As a matter of fact, his entire ministry was about making sure people really truly understood who he was and what he was here for and why. This is why we have to have these kinds of conversations. This is why you got to tell people there's a right and a wrong. This is why you have to do that. Because if he was here right now, you better believe. Not only if he was here, but if Paul was here, America would be getting a letter. We'd be getting a letter. And that letter would be fire. Straight fire. Because what we want to do is whatever we want to do. And that's definitely not what he was about. He had to call out his own religious leaders for their mishappenings. So I just think that we talked a lot about, meeting people where they are. Mm-hmm. Meeting someone where they are doesn't mean allowing them to be comfortable in that space just because that's where they are. When you meet Jesus, he meets you where you are. But then he lifts up a standard for you. He doesn't say, okay, I met you where you are and now you got to stay there. He says, no, I met you here. I love you here. I love you right here at the bottom where you are. But I love you so much that I can't leave you at the bottom. You got to lift. So we can have these conversations and meet people where they are. And we can say, I see where you are, okay? But you can do more. You can do better. And it's not me caring about you. It's not meeting you where you are and then letting you be comfortable there. That's not me loving you. God don't do us like that. He don't meet us where we are and then says, that's good enough. Mm-hmm. That's not it, because he wants so much more for us. So I can want more for a person and meet them where they are and say, okay, I see this is where you at, but there's a better way you can do this. And I'm going to show you a better way. Now you could take it or leave it, but at least I showed it to you.
That's actually the approach I was more guiding to right there.
So what's the confusion?
That's actually meeting them where they are. It's actually coming in love and where they actually receive it. Meaning, how can I say it?
No,
I'm trying to follow.
I think we get that scam, but the thing is you can't stay there. So that's the difference.
Oh, of course not. No.
Yeah. So I understand meeting somebody. Yeah, I understand meeting somebody where they at. I mean, we can go talk to a gangbanger on the street, right? But I'm not about to leave you as a gangbanger. We about to have this conversation. I'm gonna give you some tools and some keys, and we're gonna get you to a better position.
Yeah, so I'm just saying more. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. More. They're a gangbanger. Going and yelling at them in the street about being a gangbanger. probably not going to be effective.
No, I understand
Versus
that. I
saying, hey,
understand
man,
that.
let's have a conversation.
Yeah. No, I understand
Hear
that.
them
You know,
out. Right. That's what I meant by coming in love. An interest. If you have love and it's delivered and they receive it as hate or disrespect, that's what they received. I'm just talking more about the because to be honest, well, I don't know. Somebody said they see me on other panels. I'm a reckless troll, just for entertainment purposes. Brutal. I'm pretty bad. Horrible.
JR said he's seen you, man.
Oh, anybody who's seen me, they know who I am. I'm brutal. But when I have regular conversations with people, real conversations, I try to become a better listener because I used to be that person blasting people because I saw them here and I'm going to tell them about themselves. They weren't receiving it because of whatever problem that probably put them there in the first place. Was it judgmental? Yes. And did I actually find out what the problem was? No. I just said, you ain't supposed to be there. You're supposed to be here. What was it based on? What I saw, not what they saw. But it's supposed to be like a meeting of the minds. Hey, I noticed you slipping off track over here, and tell me what's going on. Tell me why. What's really going on? Then, of course, no, dude, you're 468 pounds. If you stay the way you are, you ain't going to make it another 5 years. You're going to die. But here's what I'm going to show you. I'm not going to tell them my workout. I'm going to show them a workout that fits them.
Right.
But if I tell them, hey, man, let's go to the track tomorrow. Nah, you're not moving fast enough. See, they ain't going to never listen to me again. Then they're going to go eat some more because I done depressed them. But as you were saying, maybe my apology, but as I heard what you were saying, I was thinking it was the Bible sledgehammer. Because I find that to run more people out of the space than pull them in.
Yeah, but
hey, you can't stay to where you are. I see where you are. Let me show you the way. Tell me about what's really going on.
Yeah, but
shout out to both of y'all.
To your point though, Scam. Like I said earlier, I think that's a part of the issue. And I'll just do my closing right now. Then I'm coming to you, JR. I think that's part of the issue, man. A lot of people out here today have made a decision that they don't want to hear anything you got to say. So if you bring up a Bible verse, then they're gonna say, "Oh, don't Bible thump me," even though the verse is valid to the situation. Yep, if you call out something that they're doing, and they're gonna say, "Oh, don't judge me," even though what you're saying is true and valid. So I think part of the problem is because a lot of folks have made up their mind that they don't want to change or don't want to stop doing what they're doing because that's what's comfortable to them. Then every time somebody tries to interject, then they have a way to suppress it or shut it down because they don't want to change what they're doing. Yeah, but that's what it comes down to. So at the end of the day, you can try to get to somebody however they want you to get to them. But at the end of the day, what needs to be said needs to be said. Now, where the change happens is if that person decides that they are ready to change. Yep, that's the key. And at the end of the day, we gotta go ahead and be honest about this thing. And I'm gonna say it again, like I've said it before. Everybody ain't ready. Yep, everybody is not ready to change. Everybody is not ready to accept what they're doing is not correct. Everybody is not ready to improve their situation. Yep, so at the end of the day, I got to communicate to you what I see and what's going on from experience. You got to make a decision what you're going to do with that information. Yep, and it's as simple as that. Yep, everybody is not ready. And you can't make somebody get ready. All you can do is give them the information and the tools. Yep, I can give you my experience because I went down that road and I was laying down with females unprotected and all of this, and this is how this ends up. Now, if you choose you want to keep doing it, that's on you. But at the same time, don't come back crying after it goes south. Yep, and that's what it is. And at the end of the day, like I said, if we're going to call ourselves adults, we got to move as such. Yeah, we can't keep positioning ourselves as victims. It's not always somebody judging you. It's not always somebody trying to sun you and all this other nonsense. Yeah, we got to take some accountability. We got to look at what we're doing and look at the decisions that we're making. Because at the end of the day, to Vince's point he made earlier, it's about your results. If your results ain't lining up and your results ain't what you want them to be, then at some point you got to make some changes, regardless of what somebody else talking about. Yeah, but if somebody is coming to you and saying, hey, I know you trying to get to point A with your results. I'm at point A. Let me give you some pointers on how you get there. If you're not open to receive that, that's on you. And at the end of the day, we got to leave it at what it is. Let me come down to JR. JR, what you want to say before we get out of here, man?
Thanks once again for having me on and chatting with the panel. I'll just leave it at for the ladies, we've got a great example of it. Obviously, they married their couples, obviously, on the panel. And, you can be a wife and you can go work and make your own money. All we're asking for is just cooperate with us. That's all we're asking for. You can still do what you've got to do. You're an adult, man. Like, we're not here to stop you from doing what you're doing. We just want to get along with you and build something and, pass it on to the kids for the future. If it means that both of us got to break our backs to make sure that, the next generation is better than us, then so be it. Then we've got to do that. It's not about me or you anymore at that point. So we've got to stop being selfish, both men and women, especially my generation. And let's try and make it work. Like I always say, there's a cheat code and we can see it right here. Quay and Chloe, it's right there. She's a wife and she works. She's getting her money. Quay is a husband and he's getting his money. They got kids and they're making sure the kids are set for the next life, and that's how it's meant to be. So let's try and get there.
There it is. There it is. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that closeout. Let me just say this real quick and then we out of here. Going back to the original topic, are foreign women better? Let me go ahead and go on the record. No. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Yeah, I'm an advocate for the black women. Yeah, I'm an advocate. Yeah, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of black men out here that are looking for black women. They're just asking for some changes in the mindsets of some of the ladies out here. If some of these fellas have decided they want to turn the corner, Vince's point, they're getting their money together. They got their situations together. They got their mindset together. They ain't got no children. They out here ready to do the thing. But they're looking for some cooperative black women to join them in the journey. Yeah, they're looking for some women who want to support, who want to be on the team, who want to build, who want to create a family and create a legacy. That is what they're looking for. And I'm going to speak for a lot of these gentlemen out here. If they can do that with a westernized a black woman, that is what they would choose. They don't want to have to go overseas and do nothing else. Yeah, because at the end of the day, we both understand each other. So no, foreign women ain't better. Yeah, but I'm advocating for the sisters out here. That's where I'm at. So ladies, just take note. Yeah, the fellas is looking for y'all, but they're looking for certain things. Yep, and it is an adjustment. It's an adjustment of mindset. Yeah, that's really what they're looking for. And they'll commit. Yep, keeping it a buck. Once they find what they're looking for, they will commit. And it really don't have to be this difficult out here. It really don't have to be this competition and this fight and all of that. But at the end of the day, to JR's point, man, we got to work together. Yeah, we got to work together. We got to connect and we got to build. And it's just that simple. Yeah, put all the bucking to the side, put all the competing with each other to the side. And we could be having these relationships and the ladies will not be talking about they ain't been on no real date with no man in 2 years. All that stuff would disappear. But we got to make some simple changes, and I'm sure some changes we don't want to make. But if you make the changes, I guarantee you, your husband is going to come along. But man, shout out to everybody who joined us tonight, man. Great show, great conversation. Shout out to my panel, Chloe, Vince, Nicole, Scam Likely, JR, Joe was on here earlier. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Was somebody else on here? Yeah, Tay was on here. My bad. Sorry about that, Tay. Tay was on here as well. Shout out to my panel holding me down every night. Shout out to everybody in the comments. I got a lot of comments. I can't read them all. But shout out to everybody in the comments, YouTube, and Facebook in the building. This is Kandid Konvos. We do the show every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We go live on YouTube and Facebook. So smash that like button, smash that share button, hit that subscribe as well for all my YouTube folks. But man, with that being said, everybody have an awesome night. We're going to catch you guys next Wednesday.